Hello again to you all and welcome to the third session of Metaphor Analysis series. In this video today, I'm going to talk about different views of metaphor. Generally speaking, there are two views of metaphor. Number one, the traditional view, and number two, the contemporary view. In the traditional view, metaphor was considered as a literary device. From this perspective, the purpose of metaphor was merely to entertain the audience, and metaphor was used as a beauty or decorative device. As you know, one of the most famous examples of metaphor in the English literature comes from William Shakespeare's As You Like It. Shakespeare says, "All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players." So in this metaphor, Shakespeare is comparing the world to a stage. And the second view is the contemporary view, which considers metaphor as a cognitive device. Based on this view, the purpose of metaphor is to help us understand the world around us. To this aim, it makes us understand one thing, which, as I explained in previous videos, is A or target, by comparing it to another thing, which, if you have watched the other two videos, is called B or the source of metaphor. In this comparison, we have two components. As you can see here, we have A, that is what we want to be described or defined. For example, my boss, the world, and PhD, and we have B, that is what we use to describe A. So for example, we have a tiger, a stage, and a journey. So we will have my boss is a tiger, the world is a stage, and PhD is a journey. From a contemporary point of view, metaphor shows how we see or perceive something, which can be a concept, an abstract idea, or an experience, and so on, and how we want the others to see it. To this aim, of course, using metaphor is much easier and more straightforward than just talking about it. Let me give you an example. For example, I see PhD as a process. During this process, a PhD student goes through changes and over time becomes more and more sophisticated. This process is not easy and there are many obstacles on the way that will slow down the process. Even sometimes there are different paths on the way, and at these moments a PhD student has to make a decision. He or she must decide which path to take, and of course based on this path there will be a different result. Some of these paths are easier while some are more difficult. So a PhD student needs to equip himself or herself with necessary knowledge and skills, which mostly he picks up on the way. Besides that, a PhD student needs a guide, that is someone to show him the way, like a map, and of course I mean the supervisor. In the end, successful students will achieve the final goal or the destination, which is being awarded with the PhD certificate. While I can talk about PhD for hours and hours, I could have simply said PhD is a journey, and I could have used the journey metaphor to communicate about the process that the students undergo. If we just look around, we can see and hear PhD is a journey in many academic occasions. For example, when a supervisor is talking to his or her students, or when a PhD student is talking about his or her experience, or when the dean of the faculty is welcoming new PhD students, and so on. This contemporary view of metaphor basically comes from the work of Professor Lakoff and Professor Johnson, who wrote the book Metaphors We Live By in 1980 and introduced conceptual metaphor theory, which I will leave for the next video. Okay everyone, so here we come to the end of this video. Again, I hope you have enjoyed watching this video as well. I would love to hear from you, so please leave a comment if you like to share your views or if you have a question. Bye for now and have a good time.